Yeah, give him money for ice cream.
I think he's well fed.
Hey, give him money so you can go down and get an iced coffee thing.
Hey, Jerry said he
Come and
got
talk
his
to us
tickets.
with him about.
Email to him on September 7th.
Why are you recording?
Yeah, so they go through your email.
No.
See if there's any tickets that you would
Are you the new kid's godfather here, Troy?
Yeah.
What?
You're the godfather for the kid, right?
see if they're there and I
You got promoted? Alright, just wondered.
So phones, so.
I'm the evil uncle.
But maybe check your junk too, it might be running your junk email.
Text this.
Okay,
He usually works 4 hours during the week, so.
yeah,
Which week that works?
let's get them loaded up on the
I
phone.
did not hear from him.
Okay.
Will at work there, Jerry?
Didn't come back, huh?
Will's at work, right?
He never got back in touch with me, didn't come back, so I assumed he got it.
Yeah, he's worked 12-hour days off and everything.
Who's that, Will?
She did her, but
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call to order, roll call please.
Mayor Nathan Anderson.
Here.
Troy Boone.
Here.
Troy Doden.
Here.
Will Rolke. Art Schott.
Here.
Teresa Swigan. Here. Mike Tiedemann.
Here.
Agenda was sent out, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Move to adopt the agenda.
Chad, second.
Motion by Teeman, second to adopt the agenda, any further discussion? None, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Visitors to be heard, Thatcher, do you have anything to say?
What?
He prefers ice cream over candy.
Committee reports, building committee. That's
I'm on that.
you, Troy,
I'm on that?
2 Troys and.
No, it's me and Mike and Teresa, isn't it?
I think it's hard. That was hard last time, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Is it the same as the finance committee?
I don't think so. You want me to go look real quick?
I'm pretty sure it's Art, or I mean, Art.
Yeah.
And Troy, but.
That's the last
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Do you want to want me to talk to you, want to say a couple things?
No, we just, as you guys are all aware, we've all been talking, the Wells Fargo Bank came on the market for sale, and so there was some discussion going around yesterday, and so, in the beginning of the discussions, we thought it was like every other listing, like if we're interested, we should get together and talk about it and make an offer. After the meeting, the special meeting was set and announced, and after 5 o'clock, we then found out they're doing it a little bit different. They're taking offers, any and all offers until the 1st or the 30th or the 1st or whatever, and then they're opening the offers. And then, from what I heard today, then they're gonna go to the 2 highest offers and ask for their final and best offer. Is that correct? Isn't that what you told me, Jerry?
Well, it's, they didn't have to, I don't think, it's just, they would look at them and if there's a certain number that want to
Right.
contact them.
So they're expecting it to be a bidding war, I guess. So that squashed my enthusiasm a lot when I heard that.
I'll go back to the top bidders for a best and final round.
Right.
They currently have 2 offers submitted
Right.
and expect more to be submitted in the next 2 weeks.
So after discussion with a couple council members and the mayor yesterday, I thought, we need to talk about it. We have a need for a new police department. So it would fill that need. We could move City Hall out there, and then it would make these 2 buildings available for individual businesses that probably wouldn't be interested in a bigger building. Available here for other businesses, so it's just worth having a conversation. So their listing price was $699, $700,000. I think at that price, I'd be willing to agree to make an offer at the asking price. I don't know if I'm more interested.
If you want to go to executive and talk about the financial side of it, you could.
No,
But I mean,
that's their asking price.
Yeah.
And so we can have this discussion without
Right,
talking about
yes.
where the money's coming from and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think as far as submitting what you want to
Oh.
ultimately submit. you
That should
go to
be an executive session.
Yes.
Well, but that, yeah, that's to make the decision and to keep that private. This is my opinion.
Yeah, okay.
I can state that in open session, right?
Yeah,
Am I allowed to?
yeah.
Okay.
I just got one question. You said,
So that's where we're at. Here we are.
you said there's 2 bids already, do we have them?
No, we don't know where.
Oh, let's see, okay.
They aren't gonna reveal any until after they're
So the discussion first should be,
accepting bids.
the discussion first should be, are we at all interested in,
Right.
in getting involved in
Yeah,
the,
do you want-
the building? Would it work for us? Would it function for us?
And then if you wanna discuss what you would want to offer, I think you'd go into executive session to do that.
Okay.
And how many square feet is it?
4,556.
And how many square feet we got here?
4,100.
Okay, my question from Jerry, Elaine, and Tom, I mean, if we talk like building talk, move everything out there, would that be better for you, one spot, and everybody's in there, police, everything else, or you kinda like the setup you got here, that you walked out and took a look, you know, as far as parking, everything else is a heck of a lot better out there. And then like building setup, you could sell these 2 buildings, someone would wanna buy one versus the other, I think you'd recoup probably at least half your money or better.
No, I don't think we would.
No.
No, it would be a fraction, but it would be better than nothing.
Right, well,
But the sale of these buildings could potentially pay for the expansion we need for the police station. Or a good portion of it.
the police
Well-
bank too, or what?
Well, that would be up for discussion, but it would be in that area, I
That
guess.
means we're gonna sell the police building too?
Because that's how many, it's over 2 acres, right?
Yeah, 2.3 acres, I believe,
Okay.
2.33.
My concern is if you guys are interested in buying the building and then putting $200,000 addition on it or whatever, I'm not interested in doing that. That's too much money. I say if we're interested in buying the building as it is, do an interior remodel to make the police department a separate space for the police department. That's what I had in mind. At this time, I wouldn't be comfortable spending that much money on a building and then investing more on top of it to put on a garage or whatever. That's just, I think that's too much. But that's something that can be done in the future. We don't have that now. Our police department now probably needs to get out of that treatment building. It's not ideal. There's issues with the building there.
What are the needs of the police department? I mean, I'm hearing like maybe 3-stall garage.
They don't have a 3-stall garage now, so they can function without that. But they need office space, evidence storage, interview rooms.
So Mike approached us a few months ago, he said that they need secure storage. Right now, if they impound a car, they have to use, I believe, Carlson's, and they cordon off a section of the auto shop. Is that right?
I just know that they use Carlson's.
Which then they can't go into it, so he said ideally he would like a garage space so that they could
At a minimum,
put a vehicle in there,
impound a vehicle.
secure storage, and a locked office or 2.
So what kind of investigations do they get into that they need to completely secure a car or an auto?
Troy?
There would be though, at the existing.
There's a garage,
And there is
there's a
one
locked
garage
garage.
there.
I mean, it happens, I mean,
They knock out a wall.
yeah, people would like to have garages, but I mean, it's doable to put the car somewhere else, put evidence tape across the doors to make sure no one got into it, stuff like that. I mean, you can put one anywhere. We do it all the time out at the DOT shop in Sioux Falls. I mean, we pull them into a garage and put evidence tape on them, and it is what it is. I think, that PD has been bad for 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, here's my take, I guess. I completely agree. We need a new police station. I don't like the idea of moving City Hall. I like the fact that City Hall is down here on First and Main. I love the building being the historic building that it is. I think it's very neat. I think it's a good staple downtown. If we want to spend $700,000, and that's what the council decides to do, I think that money should go into our existing properties that we already have. Instead of buying a property and taking it off the tax rolls, I'd be all for tearing down our current police station and building a new one, if that's what we wanna do for half of what this building will cost us. Cause like you're talking, say we get it for the $700,000, we're gonna put another $100,000 to $200,000 in giving them their garage space, improving the interior to get it functional for our needs. It's not gonna be $700,000. And so, I mean, I guess if we want to spend the money, great. Let's spend it and use it on our current properties. That's my thought.
My thought is, I don't know if we have current properties that are upgradable to be new-ish. I mean, we've got
But
these, but
there's
I
nothing
think,
really wrong with this building. Yeah, we could do some upgrades, maybe bathrooms, office space, stuff like that. But I think the old, unique feeling is really cool in these types of buildings. And I understand wanting, we all want new stuff. But if we don't necessarily need it, I don't think that we should, kind of go back to, I used to teach junior achievement elementary, wants versus needs. And do we really need to spend $700,000 plus? Could potentially be up to $900,000, $1 million by the time that building is done and in a functional manner for our department? Or can we give our police station a new building? Maybe do some upgrades in here if we want to, do that.
Well, when Teresa and I talked this afternoon. So my opinion is, if we, get that building for the asking price or less, I guess we always like to get it for less, but it's not gonna happen in this case. Like I said, I'm in favor of doing a little interior remodeling, but not adding on at this time. That can be done in the future. I'm okay with moving City Hall from downtown out there. I understand we're gonna take a little heat for that, but I think it's a progressive thing to do, and that's okay to be progressive. But if there's another alternative, then would spend less money, and that building remains and someone else buys it and opens another building, that's okay too. But if the council decides to make an offer, I'm okay with that, but I got a dollar limit in mind, and and not spending a lot of money after we own it either. Doing a minimal interior remodel to give the police department their own space, but I'm not thinking spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars more to add on anything. Not for now. That could be done later, but $700,000 is not a budgeted item. It's a big commitment. So we need to limit that commitment to some degree, have some self-control. There is land available down here at the four-way stop. There's a lot there. It goes all the way back to that house. I don't know, is that 2 lots or 1? It goes all the way back to the house.
I think Woody's got 2 lots there. I think it's like 70,000 for just the one, because I already checked it out in the street department. That's how come we bought Harvey. Because that corner one he wanted like 68.5. And then he said he owned the one next to it if you wanted to expand.
If you buy land and put up a building, it's going to be just a big rectangle, probably with steel type looking building like a shop, and have some offices and probably a couple garages and some evidence storage, and you're going to spend $400,000, $500,000 by the time you're all done from turnkey. It's a lot of money. And then if you move them when we move them out of that treatment plant, that needs to be torn down, and that's going to be very expensive. There's a lot of underground stuff going on there. That's going to be very involved. Because there's deep water wells and tanks and holding tanks and stuff.
And if we decided to go that route before we even, I would want, to have somebody come in and kind of tell us what it would entail. Could we fill in some of these with just cement and cover some of this stuff? Or do we have to completely demolish? I'd want an expert to come in and say, right, what is it going to take to get rid of this building to where we can build over the top of it, or whichever, before we just up and decide to do something, obviously. But I guess too, one of my thoughts are we constantly are wanting to bring places downtown. We want to promote this downtown so that it doesn't become a skeleton. And then if we move our own city offices out, I'm like, what is that saying? That downtown's not good enough for us to be down there? I don't know.
Well, but like I said earlier, Teresa, on the phone, I mean, I kind of look at it a little bit of the opposite, like actually we're creating an opportunity for 2 smaller businesses to have some downtown space.
I mean, yeah, we're one, because we, you know, put the hole in the wall now and end up close that in if 2 different ones came through.
Right.
And I know one of your comments, and I thought about it afterwards, you know, that's great if a brewery or something wanted to come. But we don't even have anybody that's interested in buying our off-sale liquor license right now. Or on sale, whichever one is open.
It's on sale.
You know, I mean, so we don't really even have any, I don't know, desire for, there's no interest in, to me, the public. But, and that's what I fear with these buildings. I mean, we didn't even get our appraised value out of the liquor store.
Right.
Are we gonna get?
These are nicer buildings than that. And I think the reason we don't have anybody interested in buying that liquor license is there's no affordable space for them to use. I don't think anybody wants to come in and spend $1 million or $1.5 million building a brand new bar.
But nobody even wanted the liquor store to open another bar.
Because they all looked at it, remember that they can buy the building for one price and they're gonna have to spend $100,000 to $150,000 fixing that building to make it a nice place again. That's why they didn't do it. And they knew, yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm in favor of it, but I got a limit, a spending limit.
And my question here, was it appraised, or we got appraised, or we got some kind of,
I'm not aware of any appraisal on it.
so right now it's what, 600,000-700,000?
It's listed at $699 by NAI.
Yeah, you got pluses and minuses, like Teresa's got some good ideas, Troy's got some good ideas, so.
We can make an offer for less than asking. Would that make you feel better about it, or your other reasons?
I would rather spend the money on our current or building a new police station. I just don't care for the idea of buying a completely new property, taking it off tax rolls when we have a lot of city property that we could already use.
Yeah, but what happens if you buy it, the police move in there, the city hall stays here? The cost is pretty damn near the same amount to build a police station, like Troy said, it ain't gonna be cheap.
Well, it's not gonna be the same amount. I think we can build a police station for less than buying that building, but it's not, I think it would cost you more than half to build a police station. But I think you could build a police station and for 400,000 or so and get garage storage and stuff. I mean, you're not gonna get that on just purchasing that building out there. You're not gonna get everything on the wants list or needs list for the police department, at least not initially. You'd have to put more money into it, yeah. So I think by the time you got everything you would want or need for the police department, you're gonna have $1 million in that out there, which is gonna be double of what it would cost just to get a police department.
As the building sits right now, though, it's ready to move in for what the city offices need. And it wouldn't take that much to make it so the police department could use it at this point.
You can put a lot of walls and sheetrock and the interior doors in for 50, 60 grand.
Yeah,
You could do the inside.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the garage and other things that the police department wants can be on a future list.
Right.
But, I don't know, I guess I'm of the opinion that progressive is good in this instance.
Where out there do you anticipate putting the chamber number? City chamber.
The what?
Where do you anticipate putting this? Because as a city council, doesn't our presentation have to be U-shaped?
In the center lobby.
Yeah,
So
put it right in
that-
the middle.
I could set a lot, it's like 1,200 square feet for the whole
It's
space.
about
That is huge.
1,400 if you took out all the stuff that's there.
We could probably get most of beer.
We're right here, we're 648 square feet here.
The entire center of the lobby, if you take out those partition walls and stuff, it's bigger than this. Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we measured it out, we got the measurements now.
It's close.
It's 1,400 and, there's a total of 1,400 plus square feet in the middle. From the time you get past the double door, all the way back to the back wall.
The drive up would be nice for people paying bills, or don't want to get out of their car. I mean,
It's a nicety thing.
yeah, it is.
Sorry.
I guess the way I look at it is you don't try and do something with it and you don't commit to doing that or other things soon, it's gonna be the way it's gonna be for 30 years. And you guys are gonna be down here for this long, this is gonna be here for that long. The PD might be the new PD, but I think you can kill a lot of birds with one stone with that. And I think it'll look nice. I think that potential businesses, contractors, whatever that come out there, I think it would look a lot nicer than this, in my opinion.
Plus, I think there's enough office space if we wanted to put other entities in there too, we could do that.
Oh, no.
There's about a dozen offices in there. Close. 10, well.
8.
Some of them are not.
It's 8 actual offices with desks in them.
Some of them aren't private offices, though, they're just partitions.
Right.
Is there a basement?
No basement.
But land-wise, how far does it go behind the building? You said it's 2.5 acres or something?
Yeah, it goes all the way back.
Behind it.
Vision
Once the
Solutions.
garage, they go behind it.
Yeah, Vision Solutions, so there's some ground on the, between Vision Solutions and Wells Fargo. There's an open spot there, open lot that needs some fill.
What, 8 or 10?
But if that could be filled up over time, that could provide an access to the 10 Dare lot behind 10 Dare for future development. There's about 10 acres back there. Otherwise, the only way you're gonna access that will be between the new road and Pike Casey's all the way down there, and that's gonna be very, very expensive. So we're gonna have to come all the way from a half mile down, it'll all come back this way, so that means you're gonna have to put your lift station in, and that was like a $2 or $3 million project.
Is there a big,
About 10, 15 years ago.
is there a lot between them and Vision Solutions?
It's all part of the land that,
So
Wells Fargo
the
owns.
Wells Fargo land goes all the way
It
back to
does.
their parking
Yeah.
lot? Really?
Vision Solutions though had grapes or something.
They do a garage space.
Behind the store.
Is
Behind
it?
the hour store.
I thought it was on the south
No.
side then.
They may have, but,
I thought he had an agreement with Wells Fargo.
it might have been.
Maybe.
It would provide a place where we could actually have access to that. There's at least 60-foot right of way that we could utilize for a street to get in there someday. I don't know how long 10 Dare's can continue to operate, and that's good forever, but that land may become available in the next, who knows? So just trying to, a little long-term planning there so we can have access to that without having to redo a whole gravel road, water, sewer, and everything else.
Are we in favor of going to executive session to talk numbers? Is there a motion? I move to executive session.
Chad second. Motion by Team and second to enter into executive session to discuss legal. All fair say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.